G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got our 5 tube stocks back on the bench. It's late November here, so it's been a bit over 6 months since we had a look at them. We're sort of just over the year mark since they were tube stocks. We'll split them up and we'll go through them one by one and see where we're at. So first up we've got our Melaleuca nodosa. It's put on a fair bit of growth. As you can see, it wants to lay down for some reason. I don't know, maybe that's its natural growth habit. Maybe that means it would make a nice cascade or a semi-cascade tree. Might be something we can look at if that's how it wants to grow. At the moment it's pretty healthy. I think I would rather cut it back to an upward branch, try and get it to put its growth going up, because quite frankly it's a pain in the ass to have on the bench as a tree that's growing out like that. Mainly because I have too many trees and not enough bench space. But yeah, I think today we'll make a hard chop on this one and we'll bring it right back and it can put its energy into growing up. And hopefully that will give us a nice curve and a bit of taper to the trunk. Do we leave that one? We probably can. I'm hoping it will focus its energy on this one anyway, being the more upright. I'll just bring that back a bit. I have checked the pots on this. This one doesn't really need repotting, so I'm happy to leave it in there for another 6 months. We'll give it another feed and let it go. We'll come back to it. The Moreton Bay Ash. It's a really strong grower. I haven't had it out of its pot, but I'd be confident that I could probably, yeah, it's not too bad yet, but it could definitely, I have had it sitting in a tray of water because I brought all my trees down to the shed earlier on in hopes to do some videos, and took longer than I thought to get back here, so they all dried out a little bit, so I've just had them sitting in a tub of water just to hydrate them again. But yeah, that could definitely do with potting up into a bigger pot. Starting to get a bit of trunk size to it. Still got a nice little bit of movement here. I still think I would let this grow for another 6 to 12 months and just keep slip potting it into bigger pots just to let it grow as much as we can to get as much thickness. And then once we get that to a nice, I don't know, maybe even 2-inch thick trunk would be good. We can bring it right back down. It'll reshoot, grab another leader, let it grow again, and just get some nice taper to it. And I reckon my money's on this one for a nice tree. I mean, it doesn't look like anything at the moment, but this is a process you've got to go through. Try and establish that trunk first. If we do too much to it, all we're going to do is slow it down, and that's the name of the game with these, is obviously to try and end up with something nice in a relatively short period of time. So for me, I'm going to repot that one up, feed him, and just let him go again. So that one needs to be revisited later on. Now, Casuarina. Starting to get some nice cracking in the bark down low. Still young looking bark up top. But that's starting to look really nice. But again, I think it needs to grow more. I think we need to concentrate on getting some more size in that one. So I'm not going to do too much to this one today. Yeah, he's probably right in that pot for a bit longer. I can leave him in there for another couple of months and then maybe slip pot him up. Yeah, but for now, obviously putting on a lot of height. I just hope that when I bring this one back down that it will reshoot. Some casuarinas just seem to shoot from everywhere. Some I seem to struggle with. But I know I've cut some of these back before. I don't know what species these are. These are just wild collected seeds that we've grown on. I have cut some back and they seem to have shot fairly well. So yeah, another one that we're just going to leave, but still doing well. The Leptospermum. Nice looking tree, nice drooping branches. It flowered really well this spring. You can see there's a lot of seed capsules on it now. The trouble with these is that they put all their energy into all this growth up top. These branches down low, as you can see, they just die. So we'll end up with nothing down here. I mean, some of these branches are still alive. There's green leaves on the end of them, but because they concentrate on all their growth, all their energy goes up top, these will just all be left to die. So I think I'd like to bring it back down now and let it go again, rather than just letting it go too high and risk not being able to get any buds coming out down low. So I'm going to make the choice to cut it back, not super hard, but I'm going to go back to one of these branches that I know still has life in it. I know this still has life in it. There's green shoots on it, leaves at the ends. I know there's life in that branch. I believe it will reshoot back down further. So I may look at it in a month's time, see what it's doing down low, and may cut it back a little bit further. But that's something I'll just have to have a look at as we go. I'm just not confident that if we let it go too far that I'll be able to push the growth back down. Maybe you can, maybe, I don't know. That's a trial and error thing. That's all part of the fun of playing with bonsai, isn't it? You sort of learn what each tree can and can't handle, what they do and don't do. But for this exercise, I'm going to do that. And it definitely needs potting up into a bigger pot. So that and the Moreton Bay Ash will definitely be repotted. This one, another Casuarina, Torullosa. I've seen this one used for bonsai before. They can look pretty cool. I'm not having much luck with it. It doesn't seem happy here. I think it might be because it's too wet. It does get kept on the damp side, and I don't think it's to its liking. It's bulged out a lot in the base, and it's got some pretty cool cracked bark, but it's got like just a big bulbous base, and then like it's just a tiny tree coming out from that. So I'm not a fan of this one at the moment. What I will do is I will repot it into some bonsai soil that has better drainage properties, just to try and see if that is why it's not growing very well, if it doesn't like the water. Yeah, and we're just going to have to see how this one responds. It's not happy at the moment. It may not be in the next video. In hindsight, I mean, there's probably some different species I could have grabbed to use for this. There's probably some stuff that I've got up there that is lending itself better to growing a nice bonsai. Different Casuarina species. The horsetail she oak, I've got a couple up there that look really good. They like to backbud everywhere. They've got some nice dark green needles. Well, they're not really needles, they're technically branches, but they look really good. I've styled a couple in literati style, and I probably should grab some more and to style into just like your informal uprights and stuff like that, because they seem to be happy here. They love to grow. They look really cool. This one here struggles. So anyway, I'll go off camera and I'll just pot these other couple up, and yeah, back in 5. Right, so that's our 5 Tubestock trees and where they're at in November 2023. We will come back and have a look at them again in 6-ish months, 6, 7, 8, wherever I get them back on the bench when I think there's a little bit to show. Even if there's not a lot to see, it's cool to just have that sort of 6-monthly interval, and wherever we decide to pull this project up, it'll just be cool to see where they've come from and how they've developed into whatever it is that they end up being. I haven't played with a lot of these species, so if anybody's got any hints and tips on any of them, like how hard can I cut them back? Should I not touch them? Like not cut them back so hard? Whatever, I'm happy to listen. As I've said before, this is my bonsai journey. This is where I'm learning. This is, I I cut things and see what happens. That's yeah, that's the long and short of what I'm doing. But yeah, for now, this is it. We'll go and get them back out in the sun, give them some feed and water, and we'll catch up with them in 6 months or so. So thanks for watching.